Hi, I'm Annie Weller, and this is When Life Goes Off Script. I want to show you something today that I actually use when I feel overwhelmed or stuck. A while back, I hit a point where I couldn't make sense of what I was feeling and trying to think my way through it. It wasn't helping. So I created this worksheet to help me slow down and untangle what was actually going on in my head. Today, I'm going to walk it through with you, not just explain it, but actually use it so you can see what the process looks like in real time. If you're feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or like your brain won't settle, this might give you a place to start.
Okay, so here we are over on the overwhelmed with feelings worksheet. And I will tell you, when I did this, I had pieces of notebook paper everywhere, and you could really put all this on one page, like each feeling on its own page. That's up to you. I'm just trying to give you the general idea of how to go through this quickly and go from there. And I will tell you that the biggest reason that I did this was because I was just feeling really so awful. And the breakup between my boyfriend and I wasn't really like that big of a deal. The breakup itself was spectacular. When I say that, I mean very dramatic, but we hadn't been dating that long and I really didn't even like him that much. So I couldn't understand why I was having all this like feeling of dread and doom when I really wasn't that broken up over the whole thing anyway on the surface. So here we go. And I have this little floral arrangement so that we can focus just on one thing at a time. So I did this all very quickly to kind of just, and the first thing that came to my mind, that was what I wrote down. So I didn't stop and judge myself about it. I didn't stop and think about it. I just was like, okay, that's the first thing that came to my head. And I worked with that. So my first feeling that I felt was just overwhelmingly sad. So I wrote that down. Why are you sad? Well, I'm sad because it's over between my boyfriend and I. Well, why is that sad? Well, that's sad because now I'm going to be by myself forever. And am I saying I think that now? No, but at the time, that's how I felt. Why is that sad? Well, I want to have someone to do things with, and I also don't want to be a burden to my children. Now, I could have kept going, but there I kind of saw like, okay, this is something here that really has nothing to do with the first thing that I thought I was sad about. So that's why I stopped there. Okay, and I was like, okay, there's quite a few things here to unpack and process about why I'm sad. For example, why do I think I'm going to be by myself forever? And why am I worried about being a burden to my children? Those were two completely different things that had nothing to do with the big event that caused all this, which was my boyfriend and I breaking up. So then I went to the next feeling. Okay, how are you feeling? And another feeling that came up quite a bit for me was that I felt stupid. And that doesn't sound like a very nice word, and it really isn't. But in my motherhood life and in my work life, I'm someone who's known as having their stuff together. So like, I don't make these mistakes. I don't, I feel like I felt really stupid for what the situation that I was in. Why do I feel stupid? Okay. I should have realized Joe was cheating on me, and Joe is not his real name, by the way. um, and so that was, why is that sad? Why do I feel stupid about that? Well, because I keep making the same mistakes with men, accepting less than the bare minimum. Okay, now we have something we can work with. So why? How is someone so stupid with men, yet so smart with so many other things? And that's why that made me sad. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, so we have some other things here now too to unpack. Why am I making the same mistakes? And why am I accepting less than the bare minimum? Why is that a thing? And, of course, when you're someone who's successful in some areas and feel like you can't get it together in others, that causes you to feel stupid. The third feeling, confused. So why am I confused? Well, I started to realize that I felt like my life was kind of out of control. Even though from the outside, my life is looks pretty good. Okay, and I'm not bragging. Please don't think that. I am no better than anyone else who would be watching this. But I have a job. I have a place to live. I have a car. I have great kids. I have so many blessings in my life. And from the outside, it looks like I have it all together. At least I think that it could look that way. I don't feel like that, but that's what it looks like to people sometimes. Okay, so why does that make me confused? Well, I have so many things to pay for. Should I move? When should I retire? Can I afford to retire? Where should I move? So now I have all these other questions that I'm confused about. And taking these separately now, like, okay, I'm sad because of this. I feel stupid because of this. I feel confused because of this. It really was helping me see, like, okay, here, it kind of like could make those things into, I don't know if I want to call them action steps just yet, but more real things and just not overwhelming feelings. Okay, so why? Well, because I had a plan. I was going to go to college. I was going to be a teacher. I was going to get married. I was going to have kids. I was going to grow old with my husband, and we were going to drive all over the United States, visiting our kids wherever they may live in our RV, in our tiny house, or whatever. Well, I did great with teaching, marriage, kids, and then, I got a divorce. And it wasn't, I'm laughing now, not because I think it's funny at all, but because I thought I had my life completely planned out. And then this happened. And then what do I do now? Like, sometimes things happen that are out of your control. And so I know that I'm someone that, yes, I can be laid back, but the big things like this, I need to know what's happening. So I think then I realized, okay, well, now what do I do? What do I even do? Now, this was kind of hard to share because anybody can watch it and judge me, but I'm really thinking, like, if I'm feeling this way, maybe other people are feeling this way, and maybe I can help them, because I know that I just felt really alone during this time. This is a great time for me to plug, make sure that you have therapy lined up. If you have people to talk to, that's great too. But there was some of this stuff that I just needed to process through on my own. And so I could have put a fourth feeling. And since then, because I did this probably 3 or 4 months ago when I was still in my 100 days that I took off of dating. I've had other feelings since then. So after I got done recording those feelings and processing those feelings, which I'm still in the process of, then I went ahead and did another one. So that brings us to the end of how I did this worksheet, and I hope that it helped. Hang in there. You can totally do this. I'm not finished yet, but I am doing way better than I was. You got this.